Hey, dude, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you, man?
Pretty good. Look at all your flags back there, dude. You got yourself a whole little setup.
And you, I didn't really know the whole thing behind this
Oh, the suit?
I always wondered how those are made and like, what are they really for?
Oh, well, true. I'll tell you. So, what you call it? How these guys are made is that you commission somebody that's a tailor. Like, you know how you get like professional suit tailors for like those like expensive suits for like ballroom gowns, stuff like that. The exact same thing. They take your measurements, all that kind of stuff, and you get them customly made. So, like all these stripes and everything like that, they're like hand sewn in. So these things cost like $6,000 to like, get done properly. Yeah, there's lots of technology built into them, so there's like, there's air that gets blown through here, some of them have like lights installed. My fur's UV reactive, so black light will go off on it. There's lots of technology that's built into them, but basically you have to get somebody that's specialized in making them to make one for you. Typically they take about a year to get done, and once they're done, they last about maybe 5 to 6 years if you treat them well. That's how they're made, yeah.
Expensive.
Oh yeah, dude, this is an expensive hobby. Most of the furries that you see that are in fursuits, they're professionals in something. Like I'm an analytical geochemist. Most of them are like lawyers or high IT guys, managers, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's only two things I really know now that are expensive hobbies. It's that and fishing.
Yeah.
$30,000 on fishing stuff at this point.
Well, like there's tons of other expensive hobbies, like card traders, people that are like into baseball cards or like any sort of collectibles. Those things just skyrocket in price.
Diesel mechanic, diesel type things. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Transmission for a diesel is like $10,000-$20,000.
Dude, anything that deals with antique cars, poof, just poof with the price. Just goes like this car doesn't even run well. Like it's like a 1970 stuff like that. He probably can't get you like 20 miles. But man, if you can refurbish that one and get it like all touched up, it's like a $300,000 car. Like it's ridiculous.
I once found an old Chevy S10 for $900, and it was in perfect condition. But I'm surprised they weren't having it for a lot of money because S10s are hard to find in good condition.
The person probably didn't know what they had.
And also, S10s are reliable. My friend just got one from his grandpa after his grandpa died.
Yep.
And it hadn't had an oil change, nor gas change, or battery change in over 26 years.
That does not sound good for the car, but that's very hardy.
Yeah, he took the key, put it in, turned it, started right up with no problem. That's how reliable this is.
Brah, that is reliable as hell. Holy crap.
Yeah, you can run them into a freaking train and it still started up and drop off.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, you sound like you're like a super country and all this kind of stuff. What brings you onto Furry Omegle tonight?
I was just bored, and one of my cousins said I should try it because he says he goes on here a bunch because he's furry. And he said I should try it out to see what's on here. And at this point, there's just a bunch of anti-furry people going white power and stuff like that. So at this point, it's just kind of getting boring and annoying at the same time. And it's hard to find actual nice people on here.
Fair enough. So funnily enough, like I've been on here like all nights of that, and like I haven't seen another. I've probably seen like maybe 2 other actual furries of that, but most of them are just like 14-year-olds that are trying to get their like jollies off and making like puns and stuff. And I'm just like, you guys are boring.
I've only ever seen the one like partial one that had like the raptor mask.
Yeah, I've seen them too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Well, hey, you got me on the line. Do you have any like direct questions you want to ask me?
Is it actually really hot in those things?
So I've got a fan over there blowing at me, and the windows are open. Now I've been into this about like 4 hours at this point. I've been just kind of like chilling on Omegle stuff like that. But typically, yeah, it's quite warm. You're wearing like a large carpet over top of you. But to counter that, you have what's called like heat gear. So you can either have like cold packs in there, or just specially created fabric that keeps the sweat and the heat off the suit itself.
Let's see. Why do people mainly get like mad when people do this kind of stuff when they wear suits and stuff? I've always wondered, why do people get like all mad about it? It's just people wearing suits.
Oh, okay. So there's dimensions to it. So a lot of people aren't actually mad. What is they're just getting out of their gruffs. They're just being like, hey, we can make fun of this, which makes us feel good, so we have fun doing it, right? It's a kind of like a joking like a culture kind of thing. Furry itself is filled with geek culture and LGBT culture. So it's a very good like target for that kind of jokes, like ha ha ha, you're a fag, or oh, you like this, it's a oh, you like I don't like My Little Pony, but like some furries do, like ha ha, you're like a brony. So that it's a very easy and fun target for people that are below the age of like 19 to get their grievances out, because long story short, they have other problems in their life that they can't address because they're not mentally mature enough to address. So they just make fun and throw their pain onto something else. That's why it's easy.
Oh, and also, so what was I about to say? I forgot. Hold on, I'm trying to think. What's the deal with all the porn?
Okay. So,
Yeah.
easy question, stuff like that. So the furry fandom is basically split up into two sections. We're fans of anthropomorphic art, right? But a lot of us are adults. Like the majority of us are adults, stuff like that. And a lot of them are repressed LGBT. So like when they were growing up, they weren't allowed to express themselves of liking that kind of stuff. So the way they express themselves is through drawings and artwork. Okay, so that's why there's so much what we call pornography out there of the fandom, because the people that incorporate it grew up in a situation where they could not express themselves sexually. Therefore, they express themselves that way through artwork. TLDR.
Yeah, because I have a whole group chat full of furries that I found on this tag.
Yep.
And for some reason they keep sending crap like this into the group chat on Discord. So I got like crap.
Funny enough, that's pretty tame. That is pretty tame.
Oh, and there's also this one which confuses me in so many different ways. It's a furry with the Soviet war pants and an AK-47 over the bow.
Interesting. So it's chill. That's pretty tame stuff like that. There's big tie-overs between the anime fandom stuff like that and the furry fandoms and all this kind of stuff. You can find some weird shit if you're looking for it, but honestly, you can find weird shit if you're looking at any fandoms. Like, if you go to the Star Trek fandom, holy shit, there's some weird stuff in the Star Trek fandom. You go to the Star Wars fandom, whoo, there's some Jabba the Hutt stuff out there. Nope, I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, my friend told me to look up furry porn, and I did, and I regret doing it because I saw so many things. Yeah, I cannot get the images out of my head.
Here's the thing, if it's your thing, it's your thing. If it's not your thing, then you're just like, what the fuck is this? Stop.
I saw like some girl that was like a dragon stuck in between two things, getting face hooked and fucked in the ass. and the dicks had like bumps on them and they were bright red.
Yeah, welcome to that. Yeah, that is the not safe for work side of the furry fandom, yeah.
And I can't unsee that. It's like every time I blink, I see that shit.
Well, it sounds like you're a secret furry. It sounds like you've been infected. You got infected, dude. Now you're a furry. Get fucked.
I'm not a furry.
You're talking about furry dicks to a guy randomly on the internet on the furry channel. I don't know, man. You're going down a dark road. You're going down a dark road, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Give yourself like 2 weeks, and all those flags behind you, they're going to turn into like a furry art tapestries. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to see it all.
Hold on, there's one picture that keeps surfacing up on the internet nowadays, and it confuses me because every time I've always heard of like furries being like anti this, like anti-Republican and everything, like hating this and this.
Yeah.
That there's a picture of a fursuit that has a like rebel flag and he's holding a Trump flag waving it, and it confused me for a long time, and I was wondering what. Because I know there are people in the LGBTQ community who are Republican.
So it shouldn't confuse you at all. Let me explain it to you. So furries, we're a subculture of people, right? But it's a hobby. So like different peoples of different walks of life still enjoy different hobbies. It'd be like you being confused that a Republican like playing hockey, or a Democrat like playing hockey. Being a Democrat or Republican does not stop you from enjoying hockey, right?
Yeah, I know that. But it just confused me because I've always seen people hating on everything that are part of the furry and LGBTQ community.
Right, because about 90% of furry is LGBT, all this kind of stuff standing. But there's still that 10% that is completely heterosexual, has different viewpoints, and we don't exclude them from our family because they like the same stuff we like. They just have different values and beliefs, stuff, and we respect that.
Oh, and I had like two more, I think. What was it?
Now, to be perfectly fair, though, I'm pretty sure the guy that you're talking about has the Confederate fursuit, stuff like that. He was actually banned from some things for some nasty stuff that he did, but besides the point.
I'm trying to think. What is the point of people driving, driving people who are part of the furry community to the point of suicide? Because I've seen a lot of that, and I'm not really into that kind of thing. Making people commit suicide, because I've had friends who've done it because of girls who've been dicks and all that kind of shit.
So I don't believe that's a furry thing. I believe that's a particular person just being an asshole kind of thing. I would not say that that's something that actually defines a culture. I think that's more of something that was one person.
No, not a furry that did it. It was some random dickhead teens. They were not even teenagers, actually. They were like kids younger than 10. Bullied a couple of furries into the point that they shot themselves in the head.
Okay, so in that regard, a lot of people that bully other people, they are feeling some pain themselves. They're having something going wrong with their home life, their personal life. There's something about them that is in a point of suffering, a suffering level that they cannot themselves deal with. And they have a defense mechanism that instead of internalizing that pain and realizing what's actually going on, they have to bring it out and push it onto somebody else in order for that pain to be relieved off of them. You see this go over and over again, even into modern people, even adults that haven't dealt with their pain, they will continue to do this into their life. So whoever did that to another person, they were just trying to offload their own suffering onto somebody else and unknowingly push them far beyond their point of recognition. Either that, or they had something mentally wrong with them that they got enjoyment out of somebody else's suffering and therefore drove them to that point. Either way, they had something wrong going on internally, and they probably should have sought psychiatric help before it got to that point. Unfortunately, they didn't.
And what was about to ask after that? Oh yeah, because I've never seen any videos of like furry conventions. I was wondering what they're like. I've seen anime and all that kind of conventions.
Okay. So a furry convention, if you ever actually go to one, basically you'll see a floor filled with like just normal people, and then about 20% of the population will be fursuiters, going around having a good time. At the convention themselves, there's tons of gaming. Furry is very like heavily tied into with like gaming culture, anime culture, all that kind of stuff. So there's like gaming tournaments going on, there's panels and conventions going on, there's dance competitions, there's Furry is very tied in with art. So we have like a huge dance competition with like dance battles, pre-made stuff like that. We sometimes have circuses come on in and do performances, stuff like that. There's lots of different stuff that goes on. Basically, it's very similar to anime conventions. Very similar, except more fluffy.
Yeah, I get called weird because you see all this and you wouldn't think that I watch anime and do a lot of weird shit you would not expect me
Yeah.
to do. Yeah, people call me weird because I do watch anime and do all that other weird shit like that.
Well, I wouldn't call you weird. Like I said before, you can be XYZ, but still enjoy like ABC. It doesn't matter, right? You enjoy what you enjoy.
And I think it's good. I think it's really cool, but some of them I can't watch because I have a level. Okay, so there's levels of inappropriate.
Yep.
Leading to like rape.
Yep. No, it's cringy. Like there's Food Wars that somebody convinced me to watch, and I cringed the whole time through it because.
I tried watching it.
Dude, like, so they cook food. The entire thing's cooking food. But then when the judges eat the food, they like orgasm. They're just like, oh, like all, and I'm like, and their like clothes explode off and bullshit like this. I'm just like, this is too much fan service. I'm over this. Nope.
Yeah, I watched Seven Deadly Sins and I thought it was pretty funny, but very perverted.
Yep. That's anime, stuff like that. There's some really good anime out there. Have you ever heard of something called Jujutsu Kaisen? Or maybe Hunter x Hunter?
I've tried watching that one, but it kind of got boring to me because I like animes that get into the action and have fun at the same time. That was kind of like walking around and other stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so Jujutsu Kaisen would be my recommendation for you.
Why do people call Sword Art Online a shitty anime?
Because they are expecting something different than what they're going in for. Sword Art Online, after the first season, got very fan servicey very, very quickly. And people were expecting it to stay to the high stakes that was the first season. That's why.
Yeah, it started getting really like boring after a little while, and they kind of raised up, and then it was kind of like a roller coaster of boring and fun.
Yeah, now they're into like Alicization, which it's pretty cool. Like Alicization is pretty cool, but they just keep going back to like heavy fan service. I'm just like, stop! You're good when you're good.
Only part of that whole series that I wish would come to life is that gun fucking order. Because that looks fucking fun.
Oh, the Gun Gale Online? Yeah. Gun Gale was cool.
Because I'm into a lot of... I used to have a VR headset, but I'm probably going to have to get a new one. Because I dropped it and blast fire out of it.
Oh, shit.
And like my dumbass put super glue in there. And
That's not gonna work. No, what the fuck?
I have to get a new one. But I like a lot of gun related ones, and the thing is that I can actually like sit like somewhat 100 feet away, no, like a mile and a half away with a anti-tank rifle and take out somebody in realistic type setting.
That'd be super cool. Like an MMO based on guns that you actually had free thing. That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, where you had like no restrictions. You didn't have to worry about like squares. You couldn't leave. You just lay down in bed. You mind control everything.
Here's the thing about that. There's something called render distance in video games, so it doesn't overload the system. You would have to have such a huge like supercomputer behind that to make that all work.
But you see that tiny ass little fucking headset, little visor that goes in your eye.
Yeah.
It's just like, how the fuck? And it confuses me. I'm like wondering, how the fuck does that work? Is there like some like gigantic supercomputer in that tiny little thing?
Basically. All right, well, dude, I'm actually gonna head on off and probably like de-suit and go to bed and all that kind of stuff. So you have yourself a wonderful night, all right, bud?
You too, man.
All right, see you, man.